Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Live with Google for Nonprofits. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you who may have missed last week's episode, Live with Google for Nonprofits will be a show that happens every other Thursday, and we'll deep dive into topics that are requested by our viewers, and to talk more about things that can help you make the most of not only Google tools, but other tools that are available for nonprofits as well. So if you missed our last week's show, we had Rebecca from the Applied Digital Skills team come and give us an overview of different tools and curriculums that you can use to really up-level your digital skills, including how to launch and build a successful ad grants campaign. So make sure to check out that episode if you missed it. This week, we're super excited to have Kat from the GivingTuesday team to come in and give us an overview of the global generosity movement that's on December 1st. And we'll also have Meredith from our Google for Nonprofits team come to introduce herself. Just a few reminders before we get started. You should see on the right side of your YouTube, of this actual video on YouTube, a live chat. You can use that live chat to ask any questions. If you're experiencing any difficulties hearing or seeing us, let us know. We'll work on fixing it as soon as possible. And we'll make sure that you have the best experience in the show. So use that live chat to ask your questions. Members of our Google for Nonprofits team will be in that live chat answering as many questions as they can. And at the end of our topic, we'll also have some time for some live Q&A in which we'll pick some questions from the chat to answer on this video. So this will be recorded. So we are streaming live currently. I'm streaming here from Oakland, California. And if you want to watch it later, you can use the same link that you're on YouTube, and you can watch it again at any time. It will remain live. And that's also true for previous episodes as well. So if you missed an episode and you want to see it again, you can definitely watch it. So you can just go to our YouTube channel. There is a Live with Google for Nonprofits playlist that you can use as well. So if you go to the Google for Nonprofits YouTube channel, you'll see all the episodes as well as future episodes that you can set a reminder to make sure you don't miss our live streams. All right, so as a reminder, this is a deep dive into specific topics. If you're looking for a more general overview of Google for Nonprofits, as well as tutorials of how to activate products and how to make the most of Google tools and specific tutorials, you can go to our YouTube channel for that. But we will not be doing a full overview of Google for Nonprofits in this show, just as a heads up if that's what you're looking for. Awesome. So I think we can go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, feel free to use our live chat. We also love to hear where everyone is joining us from, so include that in the chat if you're comfortable. At the end, we will have a survey that you can fill out and give us your feedback and let us know what topics you want to hear, and how we can make these streams the most valuable for you as possible. All right, so thank you so much again for joining, and we'll go ahead and bring on Meredith. So Meredith will be joining us also from California, and she'll give us a quick introduction to who she is and how her role on the Google for Nonprofits team. So I'm going to go ahead and add her to the stream.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Meredith. I am the program team lead for Google for Nonprofits. I have been a Googler for a little over 7 years now, and I've had the pleasure of working on the Google for Nonprofits team for 3.5, almost 4 years. And it's been fabulous to get to know all of you, all of the nonprofits that we serve around the world, and to do projects and run programming and run events like this to really help nonprofits understand both what Google has to offer and then also just other resources that are out there in the world, and bring on amazing partners like GivingTuesday to come chat about what they're doing. So a little bit of background about me. I actually started my first job out of undergrad was with a nonprofit. So the space is really important and personal to me. And I understand from that role that there definitely are challenges that are unique to nonprofits. There are things that, are exciting and amazing about the work that you all do. And there's also things that make the work that you do hard. And we know that especially with everything that's going on in the world right now and going remote, that there are specific challenges you all are facing. And so we're here to try and help as much as possible. So you'll meet more of the G4NP team over time, but great to see everyone. And I'll hand it back over to Isha.
All right. Thanks for the introduction, Meredith. All right. So next we'll actually bring on Kat from Giving Tuesday to go through our deep dive into Giving Tuesday, which is on December 1st. So I'll go ahead and add her next. All right, hi Kat. Oh, I think you are muted. If you want to go ahead and unmute.
Not anymore, I'm not.
Perfect. All right, I'll let you take the stage and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Amazing. Thanks. Hey, everybody. I'm Kat Murphy-Toms. I am the Digital Strategy Director for Giving Tuesday. We have got, 13 days to go. The countdown is officially on. If it wasn't on for you, it's on now. So let's talk a little bit about what you should be doing now in order to have success on Giving Tuesday. But first, I want to get into a little bit of background. Giving Tuesday started as a day for anyone, anywhere to give, and it's grown into the largest social movement of all time by reach. There's activity happening on Giving Tuesday in every country and on every continent in the world. By now, you've probably heard the story. We started this with a simple idea. Black Friday, Cyber Monday were so popular, still now, but back in 2012 too. And the team thought, what about adding Giving Tuesday? What could that look like? Could you add a day that reversed the trend of consumerism? After Black Friday and Cyber Monday and everybody wanting and buying and needing, could we create a day where people would give back? It was novel in the way that they'd designed it. From the start, it was a way that they'd hoped that people would grab it and take it somewhere new. And that's exactly what happened. Giving Tuesday is a diverse and leaderful movement. It uses a distributed leadership model. So while there is a Giving Tuesday team, the folks who run this are the people who raise their hand in their respective country, in their community, in their state or city in the US, that raise their hand to lead the movement. There's no single owner of the Giving Tuesday movement. We have leaders who have raised their hand and launched more than 75 country campaigns and over 200 community campaigns in the US. Many of these are city-state campaigns, but there's also national initiatives that are formed around an identity or a culture. Things like Giving Tuesday Spark, which is our youth initiative. Giving Tuesday Military, which is a community that mobilizes military families and spouses to give acts of kindness on Giving Tuesday. We have identity-based campaigns like Latinx Give, Muslims Give, Giving Zoo Day. So check on our website and find out if there's a community that your nonprofit fits into and reach out, get involved. The bottom line is that in a world where we can't agree on much, the one thing that brings all of humanity together is the value of generosity and the joy that it brings. People find tremendous joy in giving, and when something brings you that amount of joy, you want to do it again. While Giving Tuesday seeks to inspire and increase all types of generosity, it's no secret that the annual event drives an extraordinary amount of donations to nonprofits, providing the needed fuel for them to sustain themselves and do the great work in their communities, especially now. On the last Giving Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019, the global day generated $2 billion in giving, both online and offline, in the United States alone in just 24 hours. It inspired millions of people all around the world to volunteer, to perform countless acts of kindness, donate their voices, their time, money, goods. It's really absolutely incredible. So yes, Giving Tuesday is big, and many see it only as Fundraising Tuesday, but it's so much more than that. The real magic of the day, I really feel, is summed up by this sentiment, that those participating in the day of Giving Tuesday, 52% of them are doing it because they feel a part of something bigger, and they're doing something together as a collective. So don't think of Giving Tuesday only as an opportunity to fundraise. It's the only day out of the year where the entire world wakes up thinking about what they can do to support their community and ways that they can give. So you want to show up in a way that harnesses that energy and directs it it toward your mission and your organization in a variety of ways, not just financial support. So make sure you're offering other opportunities to get involved in your mission, from volunteering virtually to collecting goods to signing petitions. Offer an array of choices for folks to get involved. Like I said, Giving Tuesday is not Fundraising Tuesday. The mission was never to create the largest crowdfunding day of all time. It's to create a more just and generous society. We feel that when we develop a more just and generous society, that's going to be one that's more conducive to civic engagement and community involvement. And that's how we think we're going to get to achieve the world that we all want to live in. So what should you be doing now, today, since we've got 13 days to go, and throughout these next couple of days to get prepared for Giving Tuesday? First thing you want to do is update those cover images on your social media profiles. At the end of this presentation, I have a handy link for you. We have already some pre-made images that you can take and adapt. You want to tweet out your goal, but you also really want to be preparing your social pages at this time. Take a moment to make sure that your pages are completely complete, that the Facebook About section is up to date, that your links all work properly, particularly your donate link. Take a minute today to try out and test out your donate link. Make sure that it works on your mobile phone. Make sure that everything's functioning properly. You want to make sure that you're offering a really quick, clean, wonderful experience for your donor, and that you don't run into any kinks on the day of. You're also going to have a lot of people looking at your social media pages over the next few days, but particularly on Giving Tuesday. So have a plan over the next week to make sure that you're sharing content about your organization ahead of time, so that people who are learning about your organization for the first time on Giving Tuesday can easily scroll back just a couple of scrolls and easily, quickly find your impact and understand what it is that the work that you do and the implications for that work, and make a case for support along the way. Within a couple of seconds of scrolling, they should be able to get that information. This is a really great use of Instagram highlight story. Can't recommend that enough to nonprofits at this time. You make a story about the history of your organization, the top things that folks need to know about what it is that you do and how you're so great at your work, and pin that as a highlight story on your Instagram profile. Post more often, not less often. Your community really wants to hear from you, and they really want to hear from you on Giving Tuesday. Go back and look at your top performing content to get some inspiration for what it is that you might be posting over these next couple of days. And on Giving Tuesday, post content that shows your work in action, how your community is affected by COVID-19. Share stories that give people hope or make people laugh. You really want to offer us a spot of hope in a sea of bad news and everything else that's going on right now. Do not forget that you have Google Ad Grant available to you. As a nonprofit, you get access to Google Ad Grants. Set that up now so that they can help you achieve your success for your Giving Tuesday goal, whatever it might be. Some ideas for things that you might ask your community members to do on Giving Tuesday. You'll want to start once you decide what it is that you want your community to do and how you want them to activate on Giving Tuesday, you should be asking them over the next couple of days and getting them prepared for whatever it is that you decide to ask them to do. So if you're going to run a peer-to-peer campaign and you want to ask some of your best supporters to run those for you, ask them in the next couple of days. Make sure that they're equipped for success. Make them a Google Drive folder that contains everything that they need to know, how to use whatever peer-to-peer donation tool you're using, whether that's Facebook or whatever your donation platform of choice might be. Some sample messages that they could use to help get your message out. Sample graphics. Google Drive is my favorite for that. Encourage your supporters to change their Twitter display name to show that they're supporting your organization for Giving Tuesday. I have an example over here on the slide. Don't change your Twitter display name. You need your folks to be able to locate your account. But if you ask your supporters to change your display name, that's a great way to get your mission on some more eyes, because everything that they tweet that day will have your organization name on it. Think about hosting a Twitter chat or an Instagram live to share your mission and answer questions about your cause. You should go live on YouTube too. Maybe that's an interview with your ED. Maybe that's an interview with clients if that's a possibility for you. And then ask your social media followers to share stories of why they support your mission. What's so important to them about your cause? That's amazing content, and that helps reach not only your social following, but that's a way to reach their social following as well, which is the whole point of Giving Tuesday. You can have them take an unselfie. The traditional unselfie was a piece of paper that folks would write what cause that they celebrated on it just in a Sharpie and take what we called an unselfie. The modern day version of that seems to be an unselfie video. So we have a template for that in our Canva template pack that you can share with your folks and have them record a short message about why your mission matters to them. Think about doing something like organizing a TikTok challenge or something on Instagram Reels that can encourage your partners and friends to spread generosity by being creative. And you want to start rallying your influencers now. Don't think of just celebrities, but anyone in your community who has a big megaphone, the mayor, a news anchor in your community who is passionate about your cause and is willing to help you get your message out. Use Google Drive to make them a toolkit and a pack that they can use to help you get the mission out. So when the big day comes, you should be posting a lot. Don't worry about posting too much. The algorithms will all sort that out. You should be posting a lot. It's okay. You want to be creating a diverse type of content. So maybe you're going to post a video virtual tour of your office, post photos, interviews with your community members, highlight volunteers, share your progress toward your goal throughout the day too. Share those stories about your impact, but hopefully you'll have those being set up throughout the next couple of weeks too, so that folks can find that and access it easily. And don't forget to thank your donors as donations come in. Thank them on your social media channels. People really love a shout out. Our team knows that you're strapped for time, capacity, all of those things, and we understand everything that's going on right now. You're juggling 1,000 balls. So we tried to make things as simple as possible for you. We call it Campaign in a Box. Here's the URL. It's givingtuesday.org/organizations. You have access to Canva templates that you can customize yourself and put your logo on it and instant graphics. You have sample emails in that pack, sample social media. You really want to shape those materials to fit your campaign's unique story and your campaign though. So you want to get started on that now. People give because giving is a way that they feel that they can help shape the world that they want to live in. Giving is a step towards some different future that we're all looking to achieve. And when people support your work, they're supporting the promise of the change that you're working toward. And so your messaging and your stories really want to reflect that ultimate aspiration. People really want to do something right now. And it's not just because they're finished organizing their bookshelf by color and need something else to do, but it's because in these moments of uncertainty and crisis, people have a deep-seated desire to do something to help. So I think we have an opportunity during every Giving Tuesday, but more so this year for Giving Tuesday 2020. People want to help. It's going to be a really great day. And I'd love to hear if you all have any questions. I am here to answer them. By the way, to contact the Giving Tuesday team, you can do that in a variety of ways. I operate our social channels. You will reach me personally if you DM at Giving Tuesday on any social channel whatsoever. You'll reach me. I might take a little bit of time to answer your question, but you can reach me that way. You can also reach us at info@givingtuesday.org, and our team is happy to answer any questions that you might have. Hey, Isha.
All right. Thank you so much, Kat. This was super interesting. And I know I learned a lot, and I hope our viewers learned a few things as well, too. Before we dive into questions, I'll do a couple quick reminders. Also, if you're in the live chat and you have questions, feel free to put your questions in. Otherwise, we'll go through a couple common questions that we hear. I'm also going to add Meredith as well to our stream. So I will be asking the questions, and then Meredith and Kat will be answering them for us. But before we get started, as a reminder, we will have a survey at the end of the video in which you can actually give us your feedback and let us know what topics you want to hear about in the future. Let us know what you liked and what you didn't like and how we can be the most helpful for you. The link to that survey is, I'm going to put it on the screen in a second, but it is, give me a second.
Wait for it.
Right here.
There you go.
So this is a link. We'll also ping it in the live chat for you, and we'll have it up at the end. So you'll have a chance to fill out this survey. Cool. And then before we get started with some more questions, as a reminder, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a Twitter channel, a Facebook page, and a community forum. You can use all of these, as Kat said, like these are great ways to engage with our team, especially on the community forum. Ask your questions, and members of the Google for Nonprofits community will hopefully help you get the answers that you need. Also on YouTube, these shows are a great way to interact with us live and ask your questions. So come ready on the next episode of December 3rd with more and more questions, and we'll be here to answer them. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, Kat, I have a question for you.
Yep.
So I'm interested in participating in Giving Tuesday. How can I register?
Nonprofits don't have to register. Nobody has to register. It's a social movement. It's a hashtag online movement. There's no registration. You can get on our nonprofit e-newsletter list. I recommend that. You can get to that from GivingTuesday.org on our contact page. There's a subscribe form for that. But other than that, there's nothing to register for. You can use whatever donation tools you already have set up on your website. There is no reason to start anything new. This is more about developing a campaign on your end, making sure you're using the hashtag, making sure you're using Giving Tuesday messaging and branding in your campaign on December 1st. That's it. There's no registration.
Okay, awesome. And a follow-up to that, if nonprofits want to use the Giving Tuesday logos on their brand or on their website, can they do that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why we give you the art files. You'll find the Illustrator original art file to the Giving Tuesday logo on the GivingTuesday.org website. We want you to use that and change the colors to reflect your brand. You should we've seen all kinds of creative uses of the Giving Tuesday logo, and we love that. We get asked a lot for permission to use the logo, and I say, yes, absolutely. And not only do you have permission to use it, you have permission to change it. That's the thing that made Giving Tuesday authentic, and that's the reason that it took off so well, we think, because we allowed that type of social movement and collectiveness. And we're a distributed team. It's not just us that owns this. Giving Tuesday is yours. It's not mine.
That's awesome. I love that vibe that it's about everybody and that you can really use the graphics to really have your promotion. That's amazing. Question for Meredith. So I know we talked a little bit about getting started with ad grants and using ad grants to fundraise. Can you tell us more about how to get started?
Great question. And I know Kat mentioned it, and we've had, I think Isha, you popped up on screen kind of a link to a Giving Tuesday set of tips that the ad grants team published I want to say a week or two ago. And really, if you have a Google for Nonprofits account, that's your first step. So signing up, getting validated with the Google for Nonprofits team. The next step once you're signed up is to follow the steps to activate ad grants. And, you know, for those of you that maybe have tried this in the past and it was a little bit complicated and a lot of steps, we heard you. Our team worked on that over the summer and the fall, and we launched a process that's really just 2 steps to get your ad grants account set up. And you'll actually be able to get started once you follow those steps with creating your campaigns. And we suggest taking a look at the Ad Grants Giving Tuesday blog post, and also the Ad Grants Help Center and Community Forum. As Isha mentioned, the Community Forum are actually a great fora, I guess, are a great location for asking tips from other nonprofits. And there's also folks in the certified professionals community with ad grants that often pop into the forum and answer questions live as well. So definitely a good spot if you're trying to figure out exactly how to take best advantage of ad grants going forward.
Awesome. Thank you. And then also just as a follow-up to that, there is a step-by-step tutorial to launching ad grants. This link is a little bit long, but we'll ping it in the chat. If you go to Apply Digital Skills, it's a free tutorial, and we have a nonprofit collection. And to learn more about this, watch the first episode of Live with Google for Nonprofits, because we dive deep into this platform and what you can use it for. All right, back to Kat. I have a question for you. So I believe this one is from William in the audience, and he asked, email is probably best for less tech-savvy audiences. Any other suggestions for reaching an older, less connected audience?
Email is still great for really tech-savvy audiences too, and I think it's a missed opportunity if you skip over email. So make sure that you're sending emails on Giving Tuesday, multiple of them. I know there's a joke going around about how Giving Tuesday is the day where I get flooded by nonprofit asks and things, but you'll do this in a way where you're targeting folks. So you're taking out people who already gave to you from those subsequent mailings, so that they're not bothered and that you're recognizing their gift and not asking them again. You're going to be targeting your messaging hyper specifically to different audiences, so there's not actually going to be all that much overlap. But don't be afraid to send too much email. You want to send something over the Thanksgiving holiday to remind people that Giving Tuesday is coming. Savvy nonprofits do this once every day, starting on Giving Tuesday, and make sure you include a calendar invite in those emails too. I don't know about you, but if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. So there are ways to do that. You can just add them to a Gmail calendar invite, but there's products like Add Event and Eventable that you can use to get a calendar invite onto somebody's phone.
And one thing I'll actually add from my own personal experience, so I'm on the board of a nonprofit. I'm, like Isha, also based in the Bay Area in California, and I'm on the board of a nonprofit here. And our sort of development team at that nonprofit has coordinated with all the board members to basically say, like, what do you need from us for Giving Tuesday and kind of this time of year to connect with your friends, your family, your contacts, whoever it is, about supporting that organization. So for, folks who feel comfortable doing peer-to-peer fundraising, there's a website that they've set up where I, as a board member, can have a page that says, like, hey, I'm fundraising for this nonprofit for this reason. This is why it matters to me. And I can share that with the friends that are maybe a bit more on social. I'm not even personally much on social, but, I can share it with friends that feel comfortable donating that way. But then the development team has also said to the board members, like, hey, we will help write you, email content if you want email or even physical letter kind of stuff that you're going to send out. So I think that can be a good option too. Tap into your board and the folks that are already on board to support your organization, and that could potentially be a good way of giving them the tools to also be your stewards during this time of year.
Absolutely. The key is to make sure that they have those tools, though. It's one thing to say to your board members, look, here's what I want you to do on Giving Tuesday, but they need very clear, specific instructions. I tell nonprofits to send your board a calendar invite on Giving Tuesday and include in the description of that calendar invite 1, 2, 3. Here are the things that I want you to do, with links to a Google Drive where it has everything that they could possibly need. Copy pastable messages. Here's the email that I want you to send. That sort of prep takes a little bit of time, but you've got a little bit of time to work with here, and totally worth it.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of time, another question is, how do we keep the Giving Tuesday vibe for the rest of the year and into the next year?
Let's do it. We have secret, maybe not so secret, ambitions to make every single Tuesday Giving Tuesday, right? Like there's a Monday motivation hashtag, there's a Wednesday wisdom hashtag. We want to be the hashtag for Tuesdays. So you should use that. We've been seeing the trend a little bit over the past year or so, but we want to see more of it. Every Tuesday, feel free to use the Giving Tuesday hashtag to create some sort of challenge that would benefit your organization, or keep that hype going. We have another campaign that's called Giving Every Tuesday. You can search on Instagram hashtags for that campaign, and our social channels put out a call to action for folks to support any number of causes. We rotate them in every Tuesday. There's 52 of them with clear calls to action and asking folks to share how it is that they're giving, and we repost that content. So go ahead and use that. Steal our content too.
Awesome. I'm actually going to put the link one more time up that you shared earlier, just to remind everybody. As Kat mentioned, this link here has a lot of great tools that you can use to get prepared for Giving Tuesday. I know we only have a couple weeks to go, but there's still plenty of time. So as Kat mentioned, so here is this link.
We've got everything you need there, I think. Let me know if I don't.
Okay, awesome. All right, I think that's all the questions that we have. A couple last reminders. Once again, if you do want to watch this video again and get the tips and reminders and all the different things that Kat shared, and you want to watch it again, you can use the same link that you're currently on. So you're on YouTube watching this live stream, you can use that same link to watch it again. If you X out and you can't find the link, you can look for the Google for Nonprofits YouTube channel. Also, we did post this link across Twitter as well and Facebook. So you would be able to go to any of our social channels and you would get the link to go back to our channel, and you can see the playlist and you can see many other videos, including tips and tutorials for using different Google for Nonprofits products, overviews, trainings, as well as success stories. And we actually launched a video today that features 8 nonprofits from around the world as a thank you to all the work and wonderful work that nonprofits are doing. So go ahead and take a look at that as well, since you're on our YouTube channel already. Awesome. So the next episode will be on December 3rd. So if you are interested in joining that, go ahead and you can set a reminder already on our YouTube channel. And we will be talking about how to make meetings more inclusive and accessible for everybody. We know this is definitely more and more that our world is virtual and that we have a lot of online meetings and virtual meetings. Accessibility and inclusivity are incredibly important. And we have been also working on it too. Like, there are a lot of things that we can continue to improve to make sure all of our live streams, all of our content and tips and tools are accessible. So we want to be sharing some of these things that our team has learned at Google. So we'll have some experts in accessibility join us, and they will give us some tips for doing that that we can all learn from. So we're looking forward to having them join. Awesome. All right. And as a reminder, I'm going to put the survey up. So thank you again, Kat. And thank you again, Meredith, for joining us.
Thank you, Kat.
And please give us your feedback. We want to know what you think about this show. We just launched it a couple weeks ago, and we will continue having these shows every other week. So we really want to make sure that it's exactly what you all want, to have it be as helpful as possible. So fill out our survey. We would really appreciate it. And this is the link to the survey. And it'll also be in the chat for pings. It'll also be pinged in the chat, so you can go ahead and click that link as well. And as one more reminder, here are our social handles. So feel free to follow us. We love having more followers, and you can reply to us, and you can comment on our YouTube channel and ask us questions in the community forum. We would love that. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and good luck on Giving Tuesday. It's just a couple weeks away. So thank you again. Have a great one.